War is upon us in Ukraine. It hasn't ended. It looks like the Russians have taken Solidar, and Bakhmut may fall soon. From there, who knows what's going to happen? Will that mean that maybe even US troops on the ground? They're moving more battalions into Europe. Poland has mobilized 200,000 troops. The Romanian, and put them a new brigade, by the way, on the Belarusian border. Romania is in a tense position at the moment, not knowing what's going on the southern Ukrainian border. China, there's a further militarization of Taiwan by the West, trying to create conflict with China. War is everywhere. NATO is right in the middle of it all, driving it forward. And the head of NATO, a guy called Stoltenberg, don't know where he came from, don't know who he is, how he got into his position, but he's the head of NATO. He is really encouraging EU integration into NATO or vice versa, so they become full partners. And there's no real consideration for the fact countries like Ireland are supposed to be neutral. Now, I have no doubt our politicians are over in the EU and they're talking to people like Stoltenberg and they're saying to them, don't worry about it, keep it quiet, we'll get the Irish in, they won't even know themselves. I think that's really what they're at the moment. But here's something that Stoltenberg said recently with regards to the relationship between NATO and the EU.
We are determined to take the partnership between NATO and the European Union to the next level, to address in particular the growing geostrategic competition, resilience issues, and the protection of critical infrastructures, as well as emerging and disruptive technologies, space, the security implications of climate change, foreign interference, and information manipulation. Our partnership will become even more important once Finland and Sweden become full NATO members. With their accession, NATO will be protecting 96% of the citizens in the European Union and a higher share of its territory than ever before.
What do you make of that?
So we're the 4%, are we?
I'm not sure what he means by that.
Yeah. So, well, look, it's aggressive militarization. I mean, we are going to hold strong as best we can. Like the majority of people still want to be neutral, and I mean, if you look at the terrible scenes of, I think the Private Rooney, was that his name? The guy that died overseas just before Christmas. Harrowing scenes Irish people did not like to see. We haven't seen much of that over the years, and like it certainly has an impact. Would we like to see that happen on a regular basis? Because that's the type of thing that we can look forward to if we get involved. Any further with NATO, we've already gone way too far with them.
I've got a video here of a US mercenary. So what seems to be happening as a way of giving cannon fodder into Ukraine, what's happening is people are retiring from the US Army, the UK Army, things like that, and they're becoming mercenaries, and they're getting paid with US money still, but over in Ukraine, and probably getting bigger money for it. And they're going over there and they're getting killed, and they're realizing that they don't have even the basics of equipment. The video I'm about to show you is a guy called, let me get this right if I can, that was an awkward name, Mark Langwert. And he's crying and he's talking about losing all his friends, that he misses his friends in Ukraine that were all killed. And he then starts talking about that they don't even have sleeping bags and things like that over there, and that they have them on shelves in America. I'm not sure what kind of a soldier this guy is, to be honest with you. But have a look at this.
I miss my friends in Ukraine. Every day, I get requests for the most simple items. The things that are on shelves in America. I just heard from a civilian evacuation team in the...
What do you think of that, Patrick?
Bizarre. I don't know. Where does that even come from? Like, who is he?
Yeah, I've seen him putting out videos before, and I've checked
Right.
out his thing. So, but he's an American guy, mercenary, and to me, that's just a begging
Mm.
video that he's really making. I didn't see any real tears, but it just shows the state of the situation in Ukraine and what type of military machine that NATO creates. You know, that they don't have the basics. They're sending mercenaries in there. I know that Ukraine, there's reliable information. Ukraine are now conscripting 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds are joining, 60-year-olds. That's the script there. I've seen videos coming out. You can't walk around Ukraine now. If you're on a list, you're going to be taken to be conscripted. They're taking anybody and they're taking everybody. We've been told that the Russians are doing this, but it seems to me that the Ukrainians just project all of their own problems onto Russia. The Russians, as you know, mobilized 300,000 reserves. All of them already had military experience and signed up to the reserves after finishing their military contracts. So this is what NATO wants Ireland and the EU to intensify and to become a more integrated part of. And I think it's absolute madness.
Yeah.
Do you want to finish up on that, Patrick?
Yeah, well, like I'm just wondering what Zelensky didn't manage to get a few sleeping bags out of Biden when he was over in America. Like, surely they're sending something to the front lines. Surely they should be talking about peace, ceasefire. I mean, the Russians did call one over Christmas. I don't know how it was lasted or how well it was observed. And was there a cessation from the Ukrainian side? Have you anything on that in terms of the ceasefire? I
Well, it
think.
didn't happen. Putin announced that he ordered his troops. So I don't think the Wagner group participated, but they're a private entity anyway. I think the Russian army did, but they did still defend themselves. They had no choice in the matter. It would have been a nice thing to give people a break for a day or two.
Well, even just to show the way, like set the precedence that we can stop doing this, like, you know.
But Zelensky didn't want to do it. NATO didn't want to do it, really. And it's not a case that it would have given Russia an opportunity to do anything. Russia is advancing now. Russia has already done all it needs to do, it would appear. So it looked like a genuine olive leaf, I suppose, that was rejected by Zelensky's regime under the direction, no doubt, of NATO.